both the server application and the host application both require that the application pools are set up to use version 4.0 of .NET Framework. In 2008, it defaults to 2.0, so when you create a new site and the accompanying application pool is created, most likely it's going to default to version 2.0. I don't remember why that is, but in 2012 it defaults to 4.0. So you just have to make sure that when the application pool is created for the specific application, either the server or the host, that it is using, you see, version 4.0 and that it's set for integrated, not classic. Also, the current web config for the applications are using Windows Authentication to connect to SQL Server. This is the integrated mode for SQL Server and the security platform that we're using. You can also set up the web configs to use a plain username and password for mixed mode in SQL Server if you have that set up. I still recommend, though, that the application pools get set up with an admin account on the system that have access to everything on the system. This way, when files are written to the system, when you're uploading lists, or if you're changing config files or anything that the application needs to interact with the file system, that this actually gets set up. So when the application, if you go into application pools and you right click on the application pool that for your specific application and go to advanced settings, you'll see this identity section. If you click on that, you should see these little ellipse button. Click on that, and what you want to do is you want to set a custom account, and then you would click set, put in the username and password for that specific account, click OK, and if everything goes right, it'll let you know if the username and passwords are incorrect. But if everything's okay, it should come back to this screen. This goes for both the server and for the host application, because if you notice inside the actual web config for the applications, the catalogs and the connection string are using integrated and SSPI. Those allow you to connect via Windows Authentication to SQL Server. This is a secure conduit between the application and SQL Server. Since it's only running on localhost, you don't necessarily have to worry about people hacking in. But if you were running SQL Server on a different server, you certainly can use the same integrated mode, but it will have to tie into an account that's on that server. But that's basically both the host and server application both are set up the same way as far as connection strings go. The connection string is actually only used for using integration accounts, like if you have an AdKnowledge account on the server. So in most cases, the only connection string you're going to be working with are for the host application. For the server application, like I said, if you have an integration account, if you're working with another company that such as AdKnowledge, we have things set up that'll use a version of SQL Server to kind of help propagate some of the data before it actually goes into to be mailed out. But for most cases, the server application doesn't need a connection string.